Hey, everybody, I'm John Dietz, speaker, trainer, coach, recruiter for eXp Realty. And I am joined by my friend Scott Morris this morning. Good morning, Scott.
Good morning, John.
So,
How are you
Scott is
doing?
one of the first, amazing. Scott never had a bad
Yeah,
day, right?
telling you. It's why we keep you around, man.
It's good to know. So, Scott was one of the first mega agents that joined our group when we moved back to the Tampa Bay area. Called Scott back in March, and super glad that I did. Really glad. We're better because he's a part of our team. Scott,
I'm
I have
glad you did
two.
too,
Yeah, right. I got two questions for you, my friend. Are you ready?
for sure. Yeah, throw
Okay.
them at me.
So you've been in real estate for a while. You moved from a really well-known brokerage. You were one of the top agents in that brokerage, and yet you took a leap of faith to partner with me and join EXP. So the first question is, what made you make that decision?
I looked at what I was paying my former brokerage.
Hmm.
In a really successful year, I got the top 5% of agents worldwide, a really
Hmm.
high designation for this brokerage. And I looked at what I paid them because I didn't feel like I was earning top 5% worldwide,
Hmm.
just being honest. And I looked at what I paid him, and I said, yeah, I much rather would have had a nice roof, new plumbing, new electric in my house. My wife's medical bills paid for. I had a slurry of things that I could have used that money towards. So I kind of got upset, because I worked hard. I felt like people do business with the individual, not the brokerage. And I had brought a lot to the table, and I just wasn't getting what I thought was worth my money that I was paying them in return. Plus, on top of this allegedly great split that I had, there was a 6% franchise fee.
Hmm.
So just kind of added salt to the wound. So coincidentally, I was going over to that boutique brokerage, and you had called me the day before I was going to sign with them.
Hmm.
And he had given me what I thought at the time was this deal I could not refuse. And I remember you digging into that. Well, tell me what a deal that you couldn't refuse is. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to sign tomorrow. Let's meet. I think it was the next Monday or Tuesday. I was like, let's have coffee.
Hmm.
And you met me at my favorite local coffee shop in my hometown, which was cool. We sat down, and you showed me the deal I couldn't refuse, but it was the deal I couldn't refuse that everybody gets with EXP.
Hmm.
Um, and there was a lot of reservations about EXP. There's oh, you're going to be a recruiter. You're going to be MLM. It's all multi-level marketing, and it's so annoying. I get EXP asking me all the time, and I had those reservations, and it's almost like programmed into you in other brokerages that EXP is the dark side or something.
Hmm.
And I had been approached before, and I had said no before, but Dietz and Dietz approached me, and that was different than everybody else that had approached me prior.
Hmm.
You broke down the three lanes. I remember the three lanes that you can make money: production, equity ownership, rev share, and it spoke to me. It absolutely. You were talking about a deal that you can't refuse. There's agents that I know that are doing, semi decent production that are getting paid way less. That if they went to EXP, they'd be making more of a split. But once I did the math, and I realized that with EXP, I'm actually making more than 100%. I don't know if you remember me telling you that. I
Hmm.
put the math together and I go, John, is this right? And you're like, yeah, you could make more than 100%.
Sure.
And that's kind of where I am on my journey. I don't think that anything necessarily changed. I think the industry's gotten worse, and I've done better since I've been in EXP.
True. True.
Um, it's basically my own personal testimony that nobody can argue with. Is I could just say, look, I mean, Scott's different because John's made me different.
Hmm.
You've challenged me in uncomfortable ways that honestly, when you lean into what's uncomfortable, you grow. And I think that's what happened as soon as I hopped over to EXP and our team. That's
Hmm.
the other thing is we didn't have. I had people I liked in my last brokerage. Like we had our own teams that we put together, but I've never been in a situation where we are with people that I actually want to be successful with me. because a rising tide raises all ships, right? And
Love
in
it.
Dietz, we have that. So
Love it.
I don't know. Maybe I'm talking too much. If I'm talking too much,
You Scott, you just being Scott. I love it, man.
that's all it is, man. That's all it is.
So, in our coaching conversation, we were talking about your numbers over the last 6 months and over the last 3 months since making the move to EXP, and listings taken, listings sold, closed volume. Uh, I think you took some notes on that. Just tell me, how does your production look this year compared to the same period of time last year?
Yeah, it incredibly. It's funny how it sneaks up on you too.
Hmm.
I don't know if that's your wizardry. I don't know if you do that and it's your magic, but it's almost funny how you feel like more driven to be successful. And I didn't realize what was going on until our coaching session that year
Hmm.
over year, if you take like March through August, let's take March through August, year over year, I'm up 80% in my listings taken
Yep.
and over 66% in listings close increased just year over year, those 6 month period or last year. And then if you just take the last 3 months, which you want to see a pattern of acceleration, right?
Hmm.
Everything's exponential in EXP. It's funny. It doesn't
Hmm.
matter if you're looking at your equity ownership, if you're looking at your rev share, if you look at your production, everything's exponential. I think that's a connection maybe I just made, that
Well,
EXP, maybe exponential. I don't know. Maybe that's a thing. I
we'll
don't know.
call Glenn Sanford and say,
Yeah, that's another EXP word. But everything's exponential because if you look at the last 3 months, units closed, I'm up 133, over 133%.
sure,
And my volume closed is over 282% just the
yeah,
last 3 months.
year over year.
Year over year. Yeah. So
Amazing.
and it's a terrible, no, it's not a terrible, it's a
So
terribly difficult market.
it's a tough market.
Yeah. Compared
Yeah.
to last year, the year before.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no accidents. There's no coincidence.
Mhm.
EXP and the Dietz team are the catalyst for that, without question.
Well, Scott, I was going to ask you how things are going for you so far. I feel like you kind of already answered that question, but
Yeah,
I'm going to
yeah,
give you one more opportunity just to leave us with if you had one piece of advice for our listeners, what would you want them to hear?
yeah. 100%. Just friggin' do it.
Hmm.
I sat around pawing around the idea of EXP. I'm kind of glad I did because Dietz came into the picture.
Hmm.
But so that's why I'm glad that I kind of waited. But when I look at the numbers, and if you're top 5% of agents worldwide, my last brokerage, what could EXP have done for me then?
Hmm.
So that's the one thing is if you're thinking and you're pawing around the idea, call John. Let's do this. Like, honestly, without question, this is where I will never leave EXP and Dietz where I am now. There's no amount of coercion or promising. There could be another person out there, boutique brokerage, saying, "Hey, I'll give you 100%." I don't care. the The future is so bright with EXP. Even now, yeah, I
Hmm.
wish I would have done it 2 years ago, but I'm glad I did it now. And anybody thinking about it, I would say put your reservations aside, put your open mind thinking cap on, call John, have a conversation, because it is the best decision I've ever made in real estate. I've been in this since 2003 in one capacity or another, whether it's sales, property management, whatever. I wish I would have jumped on board long ago, but I'm glad that I'm here now. And the
Well,
team. Let's talk about the team. Like, we haven't even really got to talk about the people that we have at Dietz, right? So
that's
uh,
amazing. It really is.
every morning 8 a.m. we do a quick Zoom call. It's just,
Mhm.
it's just, I don't know if I'm allowed to say the secrets of the trade, but what we talk about individually very quickly has helped me and inspired me get on my game every day, from 8 to about 8:20 in the morning. Um, every day it helps me focus my thoughts, my priorities for the day, my wins. We get in a great mindset because even
Mhm.
on the crappy days when you feel like oh, I just didn't do anything. It forces you to think of what did I do that could be construed as a win.
There you go.
Even yeah.
There you
So
go.
those are the, I mean, that's a win just for being in this group.
There you
So
go.
yeah, our community. So yeah. So I don't know. I'll leave them with that. If you're thinking about it, friggin' just do it. Just
Yeah.
do it. If
There
you're
you
looking
go,
for a
guys.
sign, this is it.
There you go, guys. All right, I'm John Dietz. Thank you for joining Scott and I today. And as always, make it a great day. Scott Morris, thank you for dropping words of wisdom on us. And all of you out there, if you have questions, you want more information, you can reach out to me. I'm at 727-686-0404, or you can reach out directly to Scott.
727-238-5366.
There we go. Make it a
Come
great
on down.
day.